Welcome back, everybody. And this video 3 is to talk about other auxiliary view that we have. So the second auxiliary view, a second auxiliary view is projected from the primary auxiliary view when the primary auxiliary view does not adequately illustrate an object. So sometimes a primary view is not enough to fully illustrate an object. So we need the secondary auxiliary view to complete it. So a secondary auxiliary view is projected directly from the auxiliary view. Many times the auxiliary view and some of the other view cannot be fully completed until the secondary view has been completed. So this is your primary auxiliary view, and this is your secondary auxiliary view. We need this secondary auxiliary view only when not enough information here to determine what the section looks like. So we're going to have to come up with the secondary auxiliary view. This is another given good example of the auxiliary view, the regular 3 view, and the partial auxiliary view. You don't have to complete any other view here. The only thing you want to do is to show this auxiliary view. Only you need the secondary, again, you need the secondary auxiliary view when you don't have enough more information to determine what the object looks like. Then you will create that secondary auxiliary view. So the partial view, so we have a secondary auxiliary view, and now we go to partial view. Partial view, only a part of the view is projected. This saves time and in most cases makes a drawing easier to read. So we don't want to completely draw everything out because some of the information, if we don't need to, it's going to waste the time to draw them. So this is going to save time and money if you don't need the information you needed to complete your view. The use of a partial auxiliary view makes it possible to eliminate one or more of the regular view that in turn save drafting time and cost. So this is one of the good example of the auxiliary view that drawn from the this partial top view and partial side view. So this is another auxiliary section. This is another auxiliary view. Call it auxiliary section, and only a part of the view is projected. This saves time and in most cases makes the drawing easy to read. So same thing, and you're gonna project this. You want to find out what the section here looks like. So you would just project a auxiliary section view. You want to get cutting the section here. So to cut this section from this inclined surface, you project them out and then draw the section here, and you want to know what the section looks like when you cut this section here. And another auxiliary view that we can look at is the half auxiliary views. We're going to use it when the object is symmetrically and space is limited, when and always draw the nearest half of object. So if this is symmetry, if the other half is exactly the same thing, you don't have to redraw it. It's going to waste your time. So you would just draw the half auxiliary view. And this is the one is a half bottom view. Half bottom view is to show the bottom of this object, and half auxiliary view is to show the inclined surface. Oblique surfaces used when surface is not perpendicular to any of the 3 principal projection plane can be drawn using fold line or auxiliary view plane. Basic descriptive geometry principle needed to complete this view. We're going to talk about this basic descriptive geometry principle in the next chapter 9. But for now, we're just going to briefly give you a brief introduction of how we're going to do the basic descriptive geometry view. So if you look at this oblique surface auxiliary view, we're using the fold line method. So these are the same exact what we have discussed earlier. So with all this fold line here, so from the this true length B to B1 to B2, and then you can project them onto your opposite surface, and B1, B2 parallel to the fold line. So your B1, B2 always parallel to the fold line. So then now you're gonna project them from the inclined surface, project this to this view here, and then your distance y is the same distance as this distance y, and distance x is the same distance as this distance x. And viewing the plane and enlarge auxiliary view when you need to. Sometimes if the object is not very clear, you can always enlarge it to put more detail to the object. Other auxiliary view, finding the true size of an opposite surface require the descriptive geometry procedure for finding the plane in true size. But then we're not going to talk about this descriptive geometry. We're going to talk about in the next chapter. And this again the same picture from the previous slides, and drawing the fold line A parallel to the edge view of the opposite surface. Whichever is the opposite surface, draw that A2 parallel to the edge view of the opposite surface, so that the opposite surface will appear in true size in the A2 view. And note that line B1, B2 will appear in true length. So your B1, B2 is your true size of opposite surface. This is just the very basic descriptive geometry procedure, but this is just to give you the brief introduction how we're gonna create the other view here. So with that, I'm gonna finish up this auxiliary view, and we're gonna go more in detail in the next chapter, and we should go through the summary and the homework. So let's go to video number 4 to go through this summary and some homework.